So there is no reason why somebody should hold this Hindi as a national language. There is nothing like national language. One nation, one God, one language. Yeah. So they think that this could be the way to bind people, but that's not the case about India. Whether we like it or not, India has always been ruled from Delhi. So Maharashtra politically, from the pressure group point of view, is a big loser.
In the West Side Story today, we take a look at the ongoing debate India is kind of bogged down with, confronting right now, and there's a lot of acrimony, one can say, on the north-south divide. The southern states have already raised alarm. The northern states are reacting in subdued voices. The central government is trying to placate both the sides, arguing that they will ensure no injustice is done. In this whole debate of North versus South, the question that one feels like asking is where does Maharashtra stand? Because if you look at the map of India, all the southern states, right from Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, they come somewhere down, and Maharashtra is very strategically poised, in the center, mostly. And all the northern states are above them, and the Gujarat is to the left, and the northeastern states are far ahead. So Maharashtra, in that sense, is exactly in between the northern and the north and the south.
Yeah, it's actually sandwiched between
So
north and the
what
south.
do you make of this debate and its impact on Maharashtra?
So impact on Maharashtra, actually Maharashtra as of now it looks like it's standing nowhere. It is standing on two stools, because of its position, geographical position. It's neither here nor there, And another reason that's adding to Maharashtra's political misery at the national level is the script of the state language, which is Devanagari script, which is like for Hindi also.
Yeah, right.
So North Indians perceived us as part of their own. Aap to apne hi hai kind of a thing, because of Mumbai also, that adds to that. And southern states push it towards north because you are close to Hindi because of the script. So Maharashtra politically, from the pressure group point of view, is a big loser in this whole game, because we don't have strong regional parties like what the southern states have. What we are having is now the national scenario, BJP and the Congress, whatever they fought for. But that way, Maharashtra is a loser.
I was just taking a look at the population projection, and Maharashtra, as per the 2011 census, is 11.24 crore. And 2026, the projected population growth would be 13 crore, or a little up from there. So in that sense, the number of seats that one is, the two theories actually emerging. So we are not getting into the details, but one theory is that Maharashtra seats will rise. So unlike Kerala, where the question is whether it may be constant at 20 or it's losing one seat. We are giving the example of Kerala because that's one's very well maintained when it came to population growth. Now Maharashtra that way is going to gain either by 8 seats if they keep it at 53 seats, or it might even go up to 20 seats. So Maharashtra from 48 can be up to 68 also. So in that sense, I think Maharashtra has, in that sense, nothing to lose. In that sense,
no. If you look at it only from the number point of view, this is the story. But if you scratch that surface, you will realize where the rise is coming from. Say, like for example, in the state assembly, as many as 60 seats come from only one region, that is MMR. So these cities are expanding, and expanding not because of organic rise in the locals' population. It's because of the migration. So this issue Maharashtra face even more seriously than what southern states are facing. So you have number of seats going up in Mumbai, but obviously not from the Marathi Manus you will find as a key voter. Even today, out of 36 assembly segments, 26 assembly segments don't have Marathi population in a very significant position. So Maharashtra that way will have to have it will be kind of a double whammy, you know. On the one side, your number of seats will be going up. You should take pride in that. Yeah, number of seats will be going up, but that will not reflect the true picture of Maharashtra which it wants to send out. And this is, I feel, a point of friction Maharashtra will face eventually, you know, because the way southern states are moving in that direction, Maharashtra as of now has not realized. But the moment picture becomes clear that the cities only, which are taking a lot of migration, number going up from those cities, Maharashtra will witness another round of
Yes,
political.
you very rightly pointed out. I think I have the data, and yes, these are the four cities where the population shows a remarkable increase.
Yeah.
One is Thane. I think
Correct.
Thane is highest.
Thane is part of Mumbai again.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thane, Mumbai, Pune, basically. So this again, this issue of migrant.
Yeah.
Now this issue of anti-north, which the southern states are kind of raising the voices. Maharashtra has lived with it. I mean, irrespective of delimitation or the population census. Now, in 66, the very foundation of Shiv Sena, which was a regional party basically, and strong regional party in those days, Bal Thackeray had raised alarm against the South Indians then, and over the years it went to Gujaratis, anti-Gujarati, which was inbuilt in our very structure of formation of state. But later now what we are seeing is the anti-southern anger is it no longer holds, but it's come to anti-North Indians, specifically Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. So how do you see this politics going to I mean, is it going to stay, or over the years it's going to kind of...
I think it will increase. The friction will increase, the intensity will increase, because as Maharashtra faces economic challenge, if there is no much growth, and if only cities are seen expanding with a lot of migration, this friction Maharashtra will have to gear up for, And historically, when we say Maharashtra has lived with, actually, honestly speaking, Maharashtra has surrendered to Delhi. That's the reality. And whether we like it or not, India has always been ruled from Delhi. So like say simple thing like everybody knows Samrat Ashoka, right? Because one of the reasons why Samrat Ashoka is known, his presence over that region. Actually, historically, Maharashtra had, or the southern India had a even bigger empire than Samrat Ashoka. Gautamiputra Shatkarni was the king, and the size of his empire was actually double that of Ashoka, with a capital in Python, today's Python, Patil. But it's not known. So Maharashtra or the southern states, whatever they are facing, we can't dismiss southern as a only anger what they are expressing as very linguistically chauvinistic, and they have serious issues because there is a cultural divide. There is, I mean, see, as somebody has written recently. Delhi and the Persia, the distance between two places is the same between Delhi and say the Kanyakumari, So you have to understand, we can't have one straight jacket for all kind of a formula, because there is an issue. Maharashtra somehow has adjusted to it, because till 1920 we can say. Pune happened to be the political capital of India as long as Bal Gangadhar Tilak was around. Even after that, persons like Ambedkar, they were playing a key role. Since then, Maharashtra started fading, the impact of Maharashtra at center. But now with this kind of issues coming up, there will be definitely trigger for growing regionalism, whether we like it or not, but that's going to happen.
Yes, I think what you said, what we see here as a very linguistic kind of a divide, or we talk of Marathi Asmita. But again, that's again a point. Like the anti-migrant issue was not so much about the numbers only, but also about kind of your own culture, your cultural identity, your cultural the politics, because it's. Indirectly or directly, I mean that's what even M.K. Stalin is, I think, raising that our representation in the Lok Sabha. And I think here, though we were not discussing so much because our legislature is not threatened in that sense. Maharashtra legislature is not threatened by the North Indians or people from Bihar or Uttar Pradesh. But the cultural identity is a key issue.
It is facing.
and more so we feel in the commercial capital of
Correct.
Mumbai.
It is very much evident, and politics. See, the problem is that politics is all only about numbers, and cultural identity is something other than numbers.
Yes.
Now, look at the way, say around, say for example, local deities, or the Durga temples in Maharashtra. You never would have seen those bandhanas, I mean, which are like familiar with Vaishno Devi. They are everywhere now.
Right.
So the cultural impact of the north is definitely visible, and sooner or later we have to realize this kind of an imposition of the dominance. Otherwise there will be subcultural, subgroupism, subcaste, because everywhere now it's further descending rating. And Maharashtra will have to have this issue in mind in planning.
Though we talk about cultural diversity, which is very good and it should be. I mean, that's a strength also, not only in states but also across the country.
Yeah.
But the issue at the end is, the people at the helms, irrespective of whichever political party is in power. The larger question is about finances, is about economy, is managing your own people, irrespective of whether they're migrants or sons of the soil. So in that sense, there's been a sense always since Congress days. I mean, and even BJP. I mean, right now they don't speak so much. That the center is always giving Maharashtra secondary treatment as far as devolution of funds is concerned. Though Maharashtra has always, because of its own reforms, which came much earlier in the early 60s and 50s, have somehow managed its affairs very well, both finances as well as culture and politics actually. So, are we being punished because of managing our state better?
This question has two sides. If you look at the typical Maharashtra view to it, one can easily argue that we are being punished. But when we say we contribute a lot to national exchequer, that's also misleading, because why we are seen contributing more? Because all the big corporations, banking, finance, insurance companies are having headquarters in Mumbai. So they pay taxes in Mumbai. So it's seen as a contribution of Maharashtra. But say for example Tata Steel office may be in Mumbai, but it's in Jharkhand. So that's but the larger issue is why this feeling of alienation comes out, because you are seen taking resources or the benefits reaping in these states and distributing in states which are politically strong and which are not so productive like. So this is the issue. I remember a paper by one leading economist few years back. He had argued how a farmer in Tamil Nadu is crop subsidizing a farmer in UP.
Yes.
But it's a reality.
Yes.
Looking at the statistical analysis of it, it's a reality. So Maharashtra will have to have this thing in mind. And if there is a strong regional party comes up with these issues, so there is definitely scope for this feeling and to pamper this kind of.
So you feel this kind of divide is going to sharpen the divisions within the states in that sense.
See, there are two divides. Politically, everyone talks about north-south, but there is one east-west also.
East-west,
if you look at the map, the development is all coming out from the western side.
Yes.
And eastern are still, I mean, it's not that they are not developed, but the pace is slow. Similar, there is north-south divide. Southern states are doing extremely good in population control, in social awareness, in hygiene and health, whereas north is not. So, that's the reality.
Girish, this debate was the genesis which led to the restructuring of the boundaries state-wise in 1953. The 1956 Act restructuring of the state on the linguistic basis. And that was the premises in those days. So, but now what you think is increasingly getting difficult to accept it. And as we see in Maharashtra also, Maharashtra is far more prosperous in that sense, economically, with all the reforms, and yet we are finding this kind of a conflict on and off. So do you think that the model was something?
No, it's not. The acceptance of that model was an issue. It was not accepted by all. RSS was not exactly comfortable with it, with linguistic because then it impacts the Hindi's not imposition, but the influence you can say on that, you know. So till now, these issues were sidestepped or not were on the forefront because people were ready to accept that sorry, that there are different languages, there are different cultures. But when you start having, say, like for example, why the current issue is because of the national education policy. Traditionally, historically, constitutionally, education is a state subject. So there was no need for the center to nudge state that teach this language, that language. You know?
The 3-language formula.
Yeah,
It was uncalled for.
Correct. And if that was the case, how many northern states are studying Malayali or Telugu or any for that matter Marathi also. So even in Maharashtra, you won't find Hindi-speaking people speaking Marathi, you know. So this issue was bound to be there because we are somewhere the feeling is that we are not respecting divergent cultures, you know. The unity in diversity is good for the slogan, but are we really believing it? That's going to be the reason, you know.
Now, you mentioned three-language formula. Now, I mean, in Maharashtra, we have more or less accepted that kind of, you know, Marathi, Hindi is largely spoken. Now, my point is like, what could have been the alternative? Because they thought, I think the mindset of, now you can throw some light on the politics, what they have in the mind. But I think the idea is to make Hindi a national language, which it is, right?
Yeah. It is not.
I mean, it's imposed or perceived.
Even in the constitutional debates, nowhere it is mentioned that it's a national language, it's an official language. It's not. But that's what the impression is being given by so many northern politicians, you know. And ideally, if you look at the history of India's prime ministers, except say Narsiya Rao, you know, everybody is from the north, you know.
H.D. Gowda, I mean, one or two exceptions.
And now with this reorganization, if you manage just 4 states, you can rule India.
Yes.
Because with 60% of the MPs coming in from the northern or Hindi-speaking belt, and there is a definitely fear, and we have to respect that fear. You know, it's not that it's just theoretical or it is real. It's very much real. And had there been some kind of an actual amalgamation or meeting of minds, you know, some politician from UP or any other northern state trying to learn any of the southern languages, you know, and the way it is till now, everybody's down Kaveri was Madrasi.
Yes.
And what language? Andugundu language.
Yes.
I mean, this kind of disrespect we have shown. So this anger is genuine.
Yeah. So, I mean, why do you think they're pushing this? Like, what is the mindset and how? I mean, see, Maharashtra is a BJP ruled state, and if after UP, if we say, though the difference is huge, like UP with 80 seats and here 48 seats, and post delimitation, even if we get to 68 seats, the UP will become 128 seats. The gap is going to widen. So even considering Maharashtra's second largest state after UP in every sense, and also economically the power center of India, why is the BJP so determined to kind of bring this kind of debate? Why they want that North Indian dominance? I
think it's in their scheme of things, you know, the larger ideological part, you know, one nation, one God, one language. So they think that this could be the way to bind people, but that's not the case about India, you know. It's like Europe, you know. I mean, there are so many people living together, and the real issue no one will be addressing because it's politically incorrect and too hot to handle. It's Aryan versus Dravid. We have to go down to that, you know. And the southern states, they feel that they are the original residents of this place, you know. Bharatvarsh. And all those invaders they come from the north. So that feeling, it's there. So and there is no reason actually that Hindi should be meant as a national language. Or I mean, two biggest ambassadors of Hindi were Bollywood and the cricket, you know, the cricket commentary. And now Bollywood impact is also waning. There are southern movies doing much better than Bollywood movies. So there is no reason why somebody should hold this Hindi as a national language. There is nothing like national language.
Well said, but there's also this underlying current that when you talk of this divide, I mean, these states, like including Maharashtra, we talk about, and southern states, economically they are prosperous,
Yeah.
no doubt about that. But North Indian states, comparatively, especially UP and
Yeah.
Bihar, I mean, and to some extent Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, the issue there is the illiteracy
Yeah.
and poverty. So, by that logic, I mean, when you talk of the global humanitarian
Yeah,
aspect
yeah,
and all
yeah,
that, then the argument is that why not justify? I mean, they deserve
They
the
which-
represent
which
the northern states. Like,
Yeah.
so why punish them for, you know? I mean,
See,
the population thing is because of poverty,
Yeah,
literacy,
yeah.
all these other like,
Yeah.
and these are very serious issues.
Yeah.
I mean,
See, there is like a kind of a dichotomy if you look at our argument, you know. International level, we talk about global south.
yeah.
We are seen propagating that theory.
Right.
But when it comes to national level, if someone talks about Indian South, national
yeah,
South,
yeah.
it is seen as a divisive thing.
Divide.
That's not the way, you know. And it's wrong from the southern states' point of view also to blame North for all their problems. North, there is definitely economic challenge, there is definitely illiteracy, but they are the one running the service sector. So, like Mumbai, why are they coming to Mumbai? Because there is a kind of a vacuum
Yeah.
for the service sector, and they are helping it. So unless we have a very balanced and nuanced and studied approach to it, it will be this versus that, you know, and that's going to be the
Yeah,
case,
and almost
unfortunately.
25 to 30% of the service sector is the employment comes from north
yeah,
states. Yes,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
And there is a consumption, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if southern states produce,
Yeah.
if there is no buyer, who is going
Right.
to
Right.
consume that?
Right. So you think this issue, instead of just, you know, because I think here it was unwarranted now,
Yeah,
you know, to
yeah.
just thrust something
Yeah.
and without a discussion.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea is if you wanted to push something like delimitation or,
Yeah,
you know, bring this language row or the national policy,
Yeah.
then you should have taken all the stakeholders together and,
Yeah.
and build a consensus. I
Correct.
mean, if you're
Correct.
democracy, if you believe in democracy,
yeah.
consensus is the only way out. So you think they have faulted on that?
Yeah, I mean the way it was approached, there was a better way of doing things, you know. But this has been the hallmark of this government. In 2014, soon after
Yeah.
they brought that Land Acquisition Act. Again, land is a state issue.
State issue.
You had to take it, retract on that.
Yeah,
Then farmers issue. Again, agriculture is a state issue.
State
Why don't you involve states?
Yes.
But this exactly is the approach which southern states fear, that eventually they will be just bullied or bulldozed by the north. And I don't see there is, it's difficult to dismiss their fear, you know.
I think in Maharashtra context also the relocation of some of the big
Yeah.
projects were done without the consent
Yes.
to some
Yeah.
to great extent.
Correct.
I think even the
Yeah,
state
yeah.
leaders were not taken into confidence.
They were not they were not involved. It's like, for
Yeah.
example, biggest stock exchanges are in Mumbai. You know, it may be National Stock Exchange or Bombay Stock Exchange. So when you allow Indian investors to invest in global stocks, the extension of this facility should have been in Mumbai, but it's not in Mumbai.
not
It is in Gujarat. The International Finance City. Ideally, it should have been in Mumbai. Maharashtra politicians must have messed it up. They must have slowed it. There are hundreds of reasons one can cite or blame Maharashtra politicians, you know. But the natural place for that International Finance Center was Mumbai.
Yeah.
It's not here. It's gone to Gujarat. So these are the things, you know, southern states see as a north imposition, you know, and a north-centric rule of India. And that's why they feel it will be
So the
eventually.
undermining of Maharashtra, which is a debate,
Yeah.
and which was not only just debate, but also we saw it in the campaigns in the last elections
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
and even before that, when BJP was on the other side, even they had raised this kind
Correct.
of alarms
Yeah,
against
yeah,
the Congress.
yeah.
So now you think with this kind of north-south, north versus south debate, I think which is going to stay here
Yeah,
for next
yeah.
several years, one never knows.
Yeah.
The Maharashtra has to kind of gear up itself
Yeah.
to
It-
address the fault lines.
Correct, and that is what Maharashtra is waiting for. It's waiting for the Godot, you know.
Yeah.
But Maharashtra is waiting for actually that party who can talk about state interest, you know.
State interest.
And there is a big vacuum. There you have Congress, which is not seen taking up anything except the constitution thing,
Bachao, right.
Samvidhan Bachao, and you have the BJP, which is seen as the rule from Delhi. So there is a big vacuum. I hope, I mean, political parties understand this kind of a feeling in Maharashtra or Maharashtrians' mind.
Here, the issue would be like Congress is a pan-Indian party, though it's on a back foot right now in Maharashtra. But BJP, same thing, pan-Indian party. So the moment you take one side, the other, it fears it might antagonize the other segment, which is larger in terms of giving the dividends. Now, do you feel the regional parties have some scope here?
It is.
And which party you think can take up this issue and address it?
Yeah, there is definitely a scope. The issue is whether they are capable of taking that, filling that vacuum. And that's what Maharashtra is struggling, and so far there is no. That's why I said they're like waiting like Godot, we are waiting for a regional political outfit.
So things are going to be more. We are going to see more noises on this north and
it looks like it's not going to cool down so soon.
Which is very unfortunate, because when we are talking about Viksit Bharat for 2047, Viksit Maharashtra 2047, and we can't address our own boundary disputes. We can't address our language rows. So what do you think is the solution to this? Is there a solution in the first place?
Definitely there is a solution. You have to be adjustable to or acceptable to others' feeling also. Feelings, and this fear of we not being heard. Somebody is bullying us, somebody is pushing from Delhi. That is unacceptable actually. And it's not that BJP, despite being a pan-Indian party, doesn't adjust to local, it adjusts.
When it comes to elections,
yes, like for example, the beef ban, they won't be pushing this issue in the northeastern states, or for that matter in Goa also. So you can adjust to the reality. Why not in this reality also, that there exists another language which is 5,000-year old Tamil language, Tamil culture. Why don't we are seen respecting that also? It's a simple, actually, but yet too difficult to implement solution.
I think there's a larger game plan. That's what I mean. One would not like to believe that they won't be aware of the deep cultural, but looks like they have their own kind of arithmetic, chemistry, whatever that
or the cultural
thought process. Very interesting, but interestingly, as you pointed out, Narendra Modi, who is from Gujarat, with 3 terms chief ministership, and even he thought it was necessary to contest from Varanasi to become a prime minister.
Yeah, see the message.
I think, that was very...
ideally, I mean, if that's the case, you think that entire India, we are all one, and... what is that?
Oneness, Vasudhaiva
Kutumbakam, and the recent is Ek hai to safe hai kind of thing. Why he couldn't think of contesting, say, from Pondicherry or Trivandrum or Tiruchiravalli, it's not. It's instinctive to be close to north, which is running the show from the top, and that's what is the reality. We have to accept.
But that was, say, in this early 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, one thought that, if you have to rule Delhi, then you have to be from Uttar Pradesh. That kind of thing. But I think here was a wonderful chance after post Narasimha Rao, who became the prime minister, and because of course, he didn't have majority, and yet one of the finest prime ministers of the country. I think Narendra Modi could have set an example.
Let's hope. I mean, in 2029, other than his home constituency, he can think of some southern state.
Southern states, So anyway, we'll watch out for this debate. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.